Hi guys, how are you doing? It's indeed a very splendid evening. This is going to be quite a short teaching. And for those of you joining us for the first time, I appreciate you, I love you, and I thank you very much for being here with us today. Let us start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the breath in our lungs. We thank you for our minds. We thank you for the strength in our bones and our flesh. We thank you for your love kindness upon our lives. We thank you for your healing. We ask you for your forgiveness. We ask you, O Lord, for direction, for provision, for protection. And we ask you, O Lord, for revelation as we walk gradually, struggling to get to you, worshiping you in spirit and in truth. In Yahushua's name I pray. And all the good people in the house said a big amen. I want to start with a question. What animal is the king of the jungle? I've done this before, but for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, people who have never been Free Nation members or haven't gone on this quest before, what animal is the king of the jungle? I need answers. Henry said lion. Angela said tiger. Didi lion. Ada blessing. I will not see what you wrote. Ohime B said tiger. Prince Dawn said lion. A few people are saying gorilla. Lion. And if I ask you, those of you saying lion, I'm looking for who said lion, for instance. Lion, Golden Ruth jewelry. Let me try to bring Golden Ruth jewelry out. I just want to ask her something. Someone said hippopotamus. Golden Ruth, I'd like you to come online and chat with me. Or maybe I should just bring Ada Blessing. Maybe I should just bring Ada. Ada, where are you? Say hi. Ada, say hi if you're there. People are saying tiger. People are saying gorilla. Someone said hippo. Ada Obi. Civic said a lion doesn't live in the jungle but in the savannah. Let me call Ada. I hope Ada will be available. It's going to be a short exercise. Ada, this food you are eating. Okay. Pretend you and I did not have a conversation earlier on today.
Okay.
Because remember when I first had this conversation with you, I asked what animal is the king of the jungle? You said lion.
Yeah.
Why did you say lion?
Actually, I'm never going to lie. I grew up believing lion has always been the king of the jungle. I mean, stories being said, and from movies, and also from the Bible stories, lion has always been there. Even Samson killing lion is just like a big deal. So just grew up with that mentality, and my part, I never checked. I just do things.
Thank you very much. That was a perfect answer, an honest answer, exactly what I was looking for. You see, many of us have never fact checked the Bible. Whatever the Bible tells us became our truth. Now, what you need to understand is men like you and I wrote the Bible. It was inspired by a multi-dimensional, non-linear time being, but it was interpreted. Let me ask you a question. Imagine God showed John the revelation of a fighter jet shooting lasers and rockets and torpedoes, not torpedoes, submarine. How do you think John would have described it in the book of Revelation? He probably would have said a dragon from the sky breathing out flames.
Fire.
So it's not like God didn't show these people the future, but they couldn't comprehend it in their dimension. So they tried to interpret it to the best of their understanding within the limits of their vocabulary. Let me read you a scripture. And don't worry, be there. I'll be looking at your fine face. Let's read this together. Job chapter 39, verse 9. I'm reading the King James Bible. King James says, will the unicorn be able to serve thee or abide by your crib? Will the unicorn? Now, if you fact check this verse in the original Hebrew language that it was written, the word is rem. The people translating it did not have the understanding. So King James put unicorn in that place. After King James, we have the NIV, the NLT, even the New King James. If you do this, Job 39, just do this with me, Job 39:9, and let's check as many Bible translations as possible. Job 39:9. NIV says wild ox, NLT wild ox. All the Bibles say wild ox except King James, which says unicorn. New King James says wild ox. American Standard wild bull. Amplified Bible wild ox. Christian Standard wild ox. All the Bremont Septuagint translation says unicorn. Douay Remis says rhinoceros. But most other Bibles say wild ox. Only 2 translations use unicorn and 1 uses rhinoceros. Now, New King James fact-checked King James. Do you understand?
Yeah.
New King James is a correction of, for instance, the New King James does not have the word Easter in it. Only the King James Bible has the word Easter in it because the word Easter was gotten from a Teutonic river goddess. King James made the mistake. The church ran with it for centuries. The newer Bibles coming out realize that, we don't go ourselves. Oh. We don't go give the day of our resurrection of our God. We don't go collect mermaid day. Rename the birth of our God with the name of a mermaid, a god of fertility, to whom sacrifices were offered. And you ask, what kind of sacrifices? Many people think, oh, these were some sorry guys, Instagram, my battery is dying on Instagram, so I needed to, sorry guys, my battery was dying, so I needed to come back. So the word Easter was a mistake, a huge mistake that has become a religion. It's like naming Christ Ifa out of ignorance. And then 300 years later, we realize that, we cannot call Christ Ifa. But it has become religion. And the problem is people don't fact check things. Religion is not an answer. Religion is a question. The Bible is not the answer, it is the claim. I was reading something the other day. Scientists read many books and study many fields and realize how little they know. Religious people carry one book around that they don't even read, and they believe they know everything. That's the problem with religion. Until you are ready to fact check, you will continue worshiping God in ignorance. Go with me to the scriptures. Aga, don't worry, I'm keeping you here. I'm enjoying the way you are here, so I'm not alone here. Romans chapter 10, verse 2. Here's Apostle Saul speaking about the Israelites. If you read from verse 1, you would understand. Dear brothers and sisters, the longing of my heart and my prayer to God is for the people of Israel to be saved. I know that they have enthusiasm for God, but it is zeal that is not based on knowledge. The fact that something is in the Bible does not make it a fact. The Bible was written by men, inspired by God, but with the limitations of men. I studied, when I first became aware and started studying the scriptures, I loved the King James Bible. The King Bible was my favorite Bible because I felt that thou art the letter killeth, the spirit give life. I felt that was the pure English. But the more I study, or I started studying, I got to the realization where I am today that King James is actually the worst Bible you can ever, worst translation you could ever use. If you don't fact check King James, trust me, if you base your faith on King James, you are worshiping Satan. Slowly and King James was the one that brought the word Lucifer into the Bible. King James did his work on Tyndale's work, on what's this guy's name, Jerome's work, and with some other previous scholars. They used the Vulgate a lot, and they also tried to use the Septuagint and whatever else they came by. Now, in the Vulgate, the word Lucifer was used 4 times. King James, where he was copying Vulgate here, copying here, used it once from the 4 times, and that's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. Today, if you fact check Isaiah 14, verse 12, you will know for certain that that verse was not talking about the devil. Rather, it was talking about an earthly king. And the more you sit down and question yourself, the more you realize that many things that we have turned into our religion today were claims that were never fact-checked. How did lion become the king of the jungle? In my conversation with Ada, I shared it earlier on today. It started with one Bible verse. Let's read it together. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 30. If you read it in the King James Bible, it said, "A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any." YouTube and Google are your friends. Just Google lion versus elephant. A male, fully grown lion, the day that he wants to die is the day that elephant meat begins to hungry him. And then he decides to go by himself to go and hunt the elephant. That's his last day on earth. That day he goes away. Elephants don't fear lions, unless maybe a mother that has a fully grown bull elephant. You will see lion coming. The elephant will chop you. The lion will just avoid them, unless the elephant is sick or wounded. Then go to Google and type this with me: strongest animals, world's strongest animals. Put this with me. Now, because strength is measured according to power to weight ratio. For instance, if you had a 1000cc motorcycle and you pitch it against a 3600cc V6 car, that 1000cc motorcycle will take that car in a heartbeat. Why? Power to weight ratio. The power available on tap for that small weight is more than the power available compared to the weight of the car. So when you look for strongest animals, you see things like dung beetle. You see, just jump all of those ones and pass. At number 10, you have grizzly bear. Do you know how strong a grizzly is? Fine, lions and grizzly bears don't live in the same region. Grizzly bears usually stay in temperate regions while lions are in the savannah. A lion will not think that he wants to. As in, you see grizzly bear, you can't believe, say, now this meat in one chop. What about an anaconda? An anaconda will jump at a lion and crush every bone in his body before the lion can bite. Number 8, elephant. Number 7, musk ox. Number 6, tiger. Number 5, eagle. I'll remove the eagle because once again becomes power to weight ratio. An eagle can carry something heavier than him. Yes, but it's power to weight ratio. An eagle cannot fight a lion. Number 4, gorilla. Number 3, leafcutter ant. We cut out the leafcutter ant again because it's power to weight ratio. And number 2, rhinoceros beetle. Number 1, dung beetle. So if we cut out all the beetles, the first animal that is of the size of lion that they can compete size-wise is the gorilla. You know what the funny thing about gorillas is? They live close to lions. Now, can a lion kill a gorilla? Yes, if it attacks it at night. Gorilla's eyesight is not as sharp as a lion's eyesight. So a lion is also very capable of giving a very strong bite. So a lion can jump a gorilla and give it a strong bite, and then the gorilla does not have power to fight again. But you put a gorilla and a lion in a cage and lock the door, and the gorilla eye they clear. Ha 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 ha. The beat where you go give the lion go they do meow. Now, pound for pound, you have a tiger. Tigers attack elephants. I've never even mentioned hippo. You see, if a lion is like this, if a hippo closes his mouth on it like this, he'll break it into two. That's how powerful the jaws of a hippo are. A lion will never hunt a fully grown hippo, male hippo, the waka go. The lion will decide, say, this hippo meat, sweet meat to chop. Even a giraffe. Now, tigers, on the other hand, are solo animals. They don't move like lions with a pack. Do you understand? And rely on the strength of that. That already shows weakness. You need your boys to stand with you. You want to go and fight. You need your boys to be there. That already shows weakness. And some people say lions are smarter. Lions smarter than a gorilla. A gorilla is a primate for Christ, for crying out loud. How do you even think a lion is smarter than a gorilla? A gorilla that can make tools. You haven't seen a gorilla sit down with a stone and smash a nut before? Their IQ is not even, they are not even mates. So it gets to a point in life where you have to ask questions, and the scriptures are very clear. Go with me to 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit. You must learn to test every spirit to know the ones that come from God. We've been given this instruction, but we largely ignore this instruction. First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21. But test all things. All things include the Bible. Hold fast to what is good. You see, in John chapter 4, when Christ was speaking to the woman at the well, he said, God is looking for those who are ready to worship him in spirit and in truth. Many are not ready to worship him in spirit and in truth. You're ready to worship him in the hand-me-down way that your fathers worshipped him in error. That is why Paul said, the Israelites have the zeal, but their zeal is not based on knowledge. And we know what happens to a human when he's based on ignorance. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. What's the lack of knowledge? Ignorance. And Revelation chapter 22 verse 15 clearly tells us, it says, outside the city are the murderers, the sorcerers, and everybody who practices falsehood. Now, if your religion is based on falsehood, you can't get into God's gates. Many people don't understand how powerful this is. Many of us have just collected religion. And you see, the problem with religious beliefs that are handed down to you is it prevents what's in you. You are building your spirit with the truth. You see, I taught you something yesterday, if you were with us in service. The truth and the knowledge. I shared something the other day, and I wish I still have it here. Yeah, I have it in my head anyway. I said, when meaning that is outside the definition you are familiar with is ignored, confirmation bias becomes the basis for your spirituality. What is confirmation bias? I tell her that London is bad. London is bad. If you go to London, you have a bad time. and Ada believes me, her mind automatically will be filtering out information that is going against what I'm telling her and carrying information that is supporting my claim that she believes. That is why religious people will see a fact and reject that fact while holding on very strongly to their illusions. You will show them a Bible verse. 1 Thessalonians is telling you, test all things, test them. Proof check. But because it was handed over to you by people who you consider people in authority, you don't bother fact checking. Ask anybody who studies zoology, anybody who worked on lions, and anybody who worked on tigers, and anybody who worked on lions and tigers. They will tell you that tiger is not lion's meat. Tigers are more timid. They won't look for trouble. They won't look for a tiger will probably see a lion and go his own way, avoid it. But if that lion should go near, if a tiger fought a lion 100 times, 80 times, the tiger will kill the lion. Same thing with a gorilla. Same thing with a hippo. Same thing with an elephant. But yet the book of Proverbs is telling you that the lion is the strongest of all beasts. Even the buffalo, the one will be like cow, still strong past lion. Someone says the lion's attitude and mindset is the strongest. That's a lie. Lion is not even the bravest. The bravest animal is still the honey badger. When it comes to bravery, honey badger, they chase lion now. But you see, your knowledge is limited. What have you based your knowledge on? Some told you lions are this, lions are this, lions are this. Have you ever seen a polar bear before? Or a grizzly bear? You think a lion, grizzly bear, let me tell you one thing about grizzly bears and polar bears. They are not well. They are not tigers that will decide, okay, let me just move for this guy. Maybe they're going home. They will go look for that lion trouble. Grizzly bear would wonder what this animal is and be inquisitive enough to go and check it out. Now, let me tell you something. Lions are very timid. When they see something ginger them, they run. If an elephant should decide to stampede, lions go run. But what they do is they walk in a... Sorry?
They run and they return.
They go back. Once in a while, hunt goes bad. Lion attacks wildebeest. So as the lion is coming, the lion they now miss. The wildebeest now runs. Then one lion gets trapped in the wildebeest. They will use that lion to play ball. I've seen it happen before. They will use their horns to be throwing it from one wildebeest to the other till the lion dies. Now, what the lion's strategy is, 6 or 7 lions come running after the wildebeest. They are looking at one that is weak, that cannot keep up. So they start working as a team until they get that wildebeest down. If they work as a team, they can kill a tiger. But what does that make a lion? It makes a lion a coward. Why do you attack the weakest? Why? A lion will never see the strongest animal among a herd and decide that that's the one they want to go for. They always attack the weakest. And one-on-one with the full grown, if they catch a buffalo fully grown and put inside a cage with a lion, I don't go chop them. They look themselves like this. Of course, buffalo is afraid of the lion by instinct. Because animals are not like human beings. They inherit their fears from their parents, from previous generations. So by default, the buffalo is going to be uneasy in the presence of the lion. But that doesn't mean the lion can attack it and kill it. Then when you now decide to look for an animal that is not well, like gorilla, that has mental problem naturally, a fully grown male gorilla that is territorial, and keep that gorilla inside that cage, let that gorilla establish that place as his territory for 1 month, then introduce a lion. A full-grown male lion you will see what the gorilla will do to it. Gorillas are more intelligent, they're more powerful by far than lions. The gorilla should give a lion a punch at the end of the match. Oh, hey, they'll just ring bell. Team Lion, yeah, come and carry your lion. He don't end. As in lion give a bee. You don't see gorilla before. Someone said no other lion can never look at elephant as prey. If he looks at elephant as prey, it's at their child. A fully grown bull elephant. A fully grown bull hippo. Flea elephant, hippo. As in, hippos are crazy too, and they're territorial. So they will. Now, let's leave lion argument and the hippo and all these other animals. And let's focus on one thing, and which is why we're here. Some of you are saying lion is the strongest animal. Where are you getting it from? Did you do a research? Did you call a friend of yours who is an expert in zoology? Did you read it in a book? Did you Google it on the internet? Someone says lions are known to kill hippos. Lions kill weak hippos. Full-grown bull hippo. A pack of lions will attack a full-grown bull hippo. Yes, I agree. But one lion to go and attack a full-grown bull hippo? Impossible. He will not even think it. He's a coward. He won't think it. He won't. He relies on his guys. Okay, we're all here together. Okay, let's go as a team. A tiger, on the other hand, will attack a fully grown elephant. Tigers are braver. They will act, oh yes, if the tiger is hungry, he sees an elephant, he believes, okay, this one. And they've known to success single-handedly hunt elephants. No lion has ever single-handedly hunted an elephant. Ever. Unless they want to do it of recent. So the strength of this lion was based by who? King Solomon was wise. He was extremely wise. He was more wise than anyone then and now. But the problem is, no matter how good a jet engine is, if you don't put fuel in it, it's useless. What King Solomon was exposed to is different from what people are exposed to today. The amount of information that is out there is so vast. Someone with 10% of Solomon's wisdom, but with the barrage of facts and information available, would be able to challenge King Solomon, not because he's wiser, but because he has more fuel in his jet engines. When King Solomon roamed the earth, viruses had not been discovered. Just Google when the virus has been discovered. If coronavirus had hit them then, they'll say it's witchcraft. Just write, when were viruses discovered? Virus, ordinary virus, common cold. 1892, less than 200 years ago. So with all Solomon's wisdom, he couldn't understand the car, he couldn't understand the train, he couldn't understand electricity, he couldn't understand the virus, he couldn't even understand what a book was, because books were invented much later, much later. So what does that mean? It means Solomon is prone to human error. Yes, he was inspired by God, who never lies, but God also wanted us to fact check Solomon, so we do not give Solomon the accolades he, God, deserves. And there are many things Solomon said that were misinterpreted and misunderstood by other humans who decided to write the Bible. Look at the canon of the Bible. Who decided that this book is fit and this book is not? Was it God? Or was it politicians? So as you go on your journey towards Christ, towards God through Christ, Christ is the way, God is the destination. You are going to God through Christ. Many of you misunderstand that. They say Christ is the way to God. You think Christ is, you worship Christ. No, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to worship the way. You're supposed to use the way to get to your destination. Your destination is God. You need to understand that your knowledge must be based on the truth. And your faith must be based on the knowledge. And your spirit must be based on your faith. And when you have that faith that is based, that spirit that is based on faith, which is based on knowledge, which is based on the truth, you can now worship God in spirit and in truth. I'll take that again if you missed it. The truth is a prerequisite for knowledge. A lot of people have knowledge, but their knowledge is not based on the truth. Now, your knowledge is a prerequisite for faith. Don't get it wrong. Some people think, oh, you have faith in God. You will worship demons, literally, if your faith is not based on knowledge. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, Revelation chapter 22, verse 15, all clearly point to this. Romans chapter 10, verse 2. So, start by looking for the truth. Now, there's something called you don't need to reinvent the wheel. In Christianity, sometimes you need to go back and reinvent that wheel because they might have invented nonsense. Fact check it. Don't say, okay, they've given us up to this level, we take it from here and move it forward. No. Go back to the root. Empty yourself. Because it is not until you empty yourself of the knowledge of man that you can begin to fill yourself with the wisdom of God. So start from today to base your faith on the truth. So from the truth, Matthew chapter 13, verse 12, the more you listen to my teachings, the more you have understanding until you have an abundance of knowledge. Even Christ wants you to have knowledge. But many preachers today prefer you in ignorance because you're easier manipulated when you're ignorant. So let me pray with you as we end today. Father, reveal your truth to me. And on the foundation of this truth, let me begin to build my knowledge. And with the knowledge of this truth, let me begin to build my faith in you. And with a faith based on knowledge of your truth, grow my spirit, Father. Grow my spirit. Let me have a spirit that connects with you in truth. I ask for this in Yahushua's name, I pray. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. That was a quick message. I did say it was going to be a quick one. Moving forward, we have two blind guys who are on our scholarship, and they need school fees and rent for where they stay. Two blind guys. Emek and I've forgotten the other one. We've been taking care of them for a while. Please, if you are interested in supporting them, kindly assist us. Our account is Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank 101 642 6338. Both of them need 80,000 naira each. Okay, Zenith Bank 101 642 6338. Please, guys, help your brothers out. This is not one penny is coming to me. Please, it's strictly for the two blind boys who were seen through university. Once again, Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank 101 642 6338. Thank you so much. Take care and God bless. Don't be shy and say, all I have is 700 naira, all I have is 150, all I have is 200 naira. Whatever it is you have, support these boys. Let's make them graduates. Let's remove them from poverty. Take care and God bless you all.